best submission of 2021. And actually, I got a little, and this is what I showed you. I was talking to you when the mics were still cold. I got a little sound effect that I'm going to do for the next one. I forgot on this knockout one, but okay, we'll do it for the submission one. All right, brother. Best submission of 2021. We got a lot of really good ones for a lot of different reasons here, my man. But I want you to tell me your top 5 right here for submissions of the year. Who do you got, brother?
Man, first one up, I went Anthony Fluffy Hernandez versus Rodolfo Vieira. Very, very nice submission, again, especially against who it was, against an absolute tactician like Vieira. Very impressive to get the submission on. But he did put on Fluffy Hernandez did put on an absolute show with the hands as well. Yeah. So it wasn't a Vieira tap because he was tired, which we see a lot. He actually did get the submission in, but homeboy was feeling it. So next one up, man, I got Vicente Luque versus Michael Chiasso. Same kind of thing. Michael Chiasso, we already know he's slick on the ground, but so is Vicente Luque. And the fact that Luque was able to get a slick darce the second it was presented to itself was very impressive to me, man. Next one up, Andre Muniz versus Jacare Souza. The inverted arm bar to the break. Absolutely disgusting. If you ever want to hear, folks, you ever want to hear a nasty break, go tune into that fight. Listen in closely. It sounds like a wooden bat hitting I don't even know, man. It sounded absolutely horrible. Just a nasty pop. Great submission. Next one up, man. Khamzat Chimaev versus Li Jingliang. Rear naked choke submission round 1. Dominating, man. And anytime that a fighter can put the other fighter to sleep, credit to both of them, because that's very difficult to do. They're very difficult to not just tap and actually go to sleep. Impressive by Chimaev. Next one up, man. I got Mateusz Gamro versus Jeremy Stephens with the Kimura submission round 1. The fact that Mateusz Gamro can turn a Kimura attempt into his own Kimura submission was super impressive to me, even if we don't think of Jeremy Stephens as the slickest on the ground. Still a very impressive acumen, very impressive finish for Mateusz Gamro. Yeah. What about you, Derek?
Well, those are some really good picks. And I just want to give you this just because we've been getting a little something in the comment section, man. So Mateusz Gamrot. I guess that is how we say it. A bunch of different pronunciations, but I guess this is the one. So I guess his name is Matthew in like Polish. So like Mateusz Gamrot. That's the new way that we rocking for the gamer, the Polish legend right there. Those are some good picks, though, man. All of those were really, really good. And I had a lot of those were basically the same. But I do have – there's one of them that you're missing that I think that a lot of people just forgot about because it feels like so long ago, right? So, listen, man, I got the Fluffy Hernandez over Rodolfo Vieira win as well. Listen, this was an arm-in guillotine. This was nasty. He got Vieira really exhausted and then choked him out. And that's part of the name of the game. You got to be ready for it, right? Especially if you're a jiu-jitsu player, man. You go hard rounds. You should be ready for that still. However, this was a decorated jiu-jitsu champion with over 10 jiu-jitsu championships to his name. So that's what makes it so impressive, especially for a dude who nobody thought was going to win. Simple as that, right? Andre Muniz versus Jacare Souza. You talked about the arm break. Nothing more needs to be said. It's nasty. You could go listen to it for yourself, folks. Tom Aspinall versus Andre Arlovski for the reason that he becomes the second man to submit Andre Arlovski in his 50 professional MMA fights. He joins Josh Barnett in that honor. I got the Khamzat Chimaev over the Li Jingliang, and that one was less for the choke as it was for the pure domination overall. So while it makes the list, I don't know if it's going to win it for me. I got Mateusz Gamrot over Jeremy Stephens Kimura. Obviously, good stuff, right? But last one, so I threw an extra one. I broke the rule. I threw an extra one here. Brandon Moreno defeats Davison Figueiredo versus rear naked choke to win the championship, my man. He put to sleep the boogeyman of the division. This is something that the first one was a draw. A lot of people thought in the rematch, Figgy's just going to knock him out. Dude gets choked out. I'm just saying. So with that being said, my man, without spending too much time on it, take out the weakest one out of all of those, and then we'll talk about the winner. So what is the weakest one out of your top 5?
This is hard, man. I think the weakest one is probably that Khamzat Chimaev versus Li Jingliang. Very dominant, but that was kind of what we were expecting. Yeah. So it wasn't the most or surprising or exciting or anything. It was just a very dominating win for Khamzat Chimaev, which still credit to his own book. But yeah, that's my weakest one. What about you?
Yeah, and I would say the same for me, except I'm actually going to go for Mateusz Gamrot. And the reason why is because on Jeremy Stephens, was it an impressive submission? Was it like a very solid UFC fighter in his own right? Yes, but Jeremy Stephens was on a big losing streak. The win doesn't really look as good. You come over to dude who has been submitted and knocked out a bunch recently. It's a big win, but this is a dude who, gets big wins. He got a bigger knockout win in his last fight prior to the submission. So it was a good Kimura win, but I do think that even Chimaev's was a little more devastating of a submission than that Kimura. Either way, we'll remove those ones from the batch, and let's talk about the winner, AJ. There's a couple different ways you can go. There's a very chalky way you can go, or you can go for a little bit of a different route. But for most devastating submission, best submission of 2021, who you got? Man, wait. Before you do it. All right. Boom.
Man, best submission, most devastating submission of 2021. I'm going Andre Muniz versus Jacare Souza with the inverted armbar snap. It wasn't even a break. It's a snap. You can literally hear that pop. It freaked DC out so much he didn't want to look at the monitors. He took his headphones off. Joe Rogan was clowning him, saying DC took his headphones off. Yeah, it was great, folks. Go check this one out. It is absolutely disgusting. If you're a fan of that stuff, man, watch this one back 3 times. Yeah, it was a rough one. Derek, what about you, man?
Well, listen, I already named the criteria, and criteria is most devastating, most violent submission that we have. I got to give it to Andre Muniz over Jacare Souza as well. So, listen, folks, this is what we do here. Andre Muniz, best submission of 2021. It is consensus because he snapped the arm of, the alligator himself, man. The crocodile, the alligator, whatever Jacare means in Portuguese. It's either one, it's one of those two. Don't remember. I think it's crocodile. It might be that one or alligator. I don't know, man. Listen. But this is so important because he becomes the first to submit Jacare in his 36 professional MMA fights, bro. Andre Muniz, that's what was so incredible about it. You not just submit a dude who nobody is expecting you to submit, but you break the man's arm in such a weird place, because when he broke the arm, it was like up here, man. And if you know anything about just human anatomy and just all of that, that's an odd place to break a bone. You're kind of strong right there, so to break it there, you either getting kicked like by a mule, you getting hit with a baseball bat, or Andre Muniz is on top of you with the inverted armbar snap in your shit. But I will just say my runner-up, if you have a runner-up, let me know. My runner-up was Brandon Moreno, Assassin Babies, his submission over Davison Figueiredo, simply because of the moment, right? You win the championship. This is something that not a lot of people are expecting you to do. It was very devastating in its own right. And I don't think that this one counts, man. But do you remember Davison Figueiredo when he choked out Joseph Benavidez, man? Had that dude just slumped over. It was a very, very alarming situation for him. I don't think that was 2021, but if it was, it would have been mine, number 1. So do you have a runner-up for that one?
Yeah, man, my runner-up was Vicente Luque versus Michael Chiasso. Just how quick he was able to snatch up that darts choke on him. Yeah. Early round 1, very impressive for Luque, especially against a very dominating grappler like Michael Chiasso, man. Yeah. I forget the gym he fights out of, Thug Jitsu. Is that what it's called?
Sig
Jitsu. There we go. Yeah, man, Sig Jitsu. He's decorated over there. Yeah. Decorated on the mats, but Vicente Luque turned it around like that. But still, not as devastating as that arm break.
I'm just curious. Does it mean anything to you that didn't make my list at all?
I feel like it's one of the ones that Vicente Luque, man, just gets overlooked.
Yeah, it's true.
He just obviously overlooked all the time. And I was just going through. I don't even think a lot of this I took. I was looking at the Tapologies. I was looking at the MMA Junkies. All these lists. He was a bottom list of a lot of these picks, man. So
Yeah, it's one of those.
Not getting the respect, bro.
Listen, it's one of those where, I think that if he becomes a champion, it's going to be like Charles Oliveira, where it's like he's been doing this for so long, but just people refuse to recognize him. But, okay, best submission of 2021 is in.